Welcome back to On the Pace on this Tuesday here as a part of the Morning Line. To wrap up this morning's show, it's time for part two of our chat with Narissa Mcmullen and Matt Elkins. Last week, we learned about their early memories of harness racing and their early success levels as well. In part two, we find out what the future holds for the young couple, their aspirations and goals in the game. So Narissa, in terms of your team, it's a lot of older racehorses and a lot that you've probably got that have had a life before coming to your stable. Do you like the babies? Is something that you'd like to move into? By the look on your face, maybe you like the older horses.
I haven't had a lot of luck with the young horses. Maybe later on one day I do want to look to breed a few. I mean, we've got the land to do it, but at the moment I'm pretty happy just buying tried horses, the older ones from New Zealand, they seem to do a pretty good job.
Is there a horse along the way that's really kick-started, whether it be this property or your savings or something along the way? Because you have had some luck buying horses yourself.
Global Flight, probably one that wasn't long after we moved here. He won that Group 1 trot. That was pretty cool and, really helped us on.
Global Flight in front. Narissa Mcmullen staring down Group 1 glory, and she's got it. Global Flight all the way.
What about for yourself, Matt? You're the same. You've got a few of your own. I guess you share the duties between yourself, but is there a horse that you've trained that's really helped you along?
Paravani, he's cheap wire thanks to the Seymours, and he's sort of done a lot for me. Taught me a lot, and he's sort of been the ATM there most weeks. He doesn't win a lot of races, but he earn a lot of money along the way.
I'm going to ask you this same question, but I'm going to start with you, Narissa. You would have known Matt for a long time. In fact, you grew up together. So how did this all happen? How did you get together?
I think we've probably got to thank Hayden. He was my housemate at the time, and I guess Matt used to come over a lot to see Hayden, and then, things just blossomed from there.
What about Matt? Is that how you remember it? And was it you that was doing the chasing or the other way around?
Oh, it might have been a little both. But Hayden probably helped us out. I spent a lot of time with him, and that was at Narissa's house. So, probably got to thank Hayden for something.
It's not an easy lifestyle, and we know that. And for you two, having a business as well. But Matt, how do you make it work? Because I'm sure there's a lot of long, tough days, but you guys just seem to make it work.
Yeah, there is challenges like everything, but we get through it. And I think the big thing is once you get in the house, you got to forget horses. And I sort of have one rule where Narissa loves looking at meeting calendars and asking and planning things out, where Sundays I have one thing, not to talk about a horse. So I think you sort of got to escape and do something to get away from horses, just whether it be for an hour or a day, you just got to escape somehow.
Recently, you decided that she stuck with you for life. You got down on one knee. Tell us, how did it happen?
Yeah, we went away on holidays, so I got pretty lucky. I didn't even have to book the holidays, so I think that made it a bit more of a surprise for her. But I think she was a little upset when it didn't happen over Christmas. She thought I got to wait another year. And we were up the sunny coast, and we went and ordered some seafood and went up to Mcmullen Lookout. It got a little dark quicker than we wanted, but we got the job done, and she said yes.
Were you surprised, Narissa? Did he plan it out well, or did you have a sneaking suspicion?
No, I was really surprised because I actually booked the holiday, so I wasn't expecting anything. And the only thing, he was acting a little strange on that day that he proposed. He kept saying, "We've got to hurry up and get dinner before it gets dark." And yeah.
Well, Narissa, you mentioned Global Flight, and how did he come about? Because he must have been a surprise, and he's probably frustrating you a little bit at the moment too, because you know how much ability he has, but that'll be something you never forget, your first Group 1.
Yeah, I was just looking to buy a horse from New Zealand, and I wasn't looking for a trotter, but he came up for sale, and probably something that persuaded me to buy him. He's such a pretty little horse. So as soon as he arrived, I loved him straight away. He's a beautiful little horse and did a terrific job. He's had a few setbacks of late, so he's back in the paddock at the moment, but hopefully we get him back one day.
Another horse that I wanted to touch on was Slip the Hundy. Wasn't he a great horse for your stable? And he must have been a surprise too.
Yeah, definitely. We were lucky enough to get sent him to train, and he did a super job. I loved him. I still think he's probably the best horse I've ever sat behind, and had the ability to be anything. And we the owners just decided to sell him to America, which was, it was sad, but that was their decision. And yeah, we're real thankful for the opportunity to have him.
There's highs and lows in this sport, and Narissa, you experienced one earlier last year with a pretty nasty fall. Tell us about it and the injuries that you received at that fall at Redcliffe.
Yeah, it was quite a serious fall. Probably at the time, I don't think I allowed myself really any time to actually think about it. I just wanted to get back to driving, and I think I was back driving in about 5 weeks, which looking back I think was far too quick, but yeah, it was really quite nasty. I had a few facial injuries, cuts, and a few little fracture in my face, and something I didn't know about at the time, I actually tore my ACL, which is a few ongoing issues with that. So yeah, but everything worked out well, I guess. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky to be back driving so quickly.
So you mentioned you probably came back too quickly. Is it something that you reflect on now and I guess consider maybe now more so than ever how dangerous the sport is?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, back then I was sort of just keen to get back out there and can keep driving. But, you know, when you sort of sit back and think about it, you think, yeah, you really can get injured quite badly, and you don't want to be thinking about that while you're out there. You just got to have split-second reflexes and, yeah, try and just do my best to put it out of my head, I guess.
How was that for you, Matt? Probably you took it harder than she at the time.
Yeah, it was pretty tough, you know, even being in the race and being to her inside when it happened. I think it took me a lap to pull my drive up, and she hadn't moved before I got there, so it was pretty hard to watch and a tough moment, and something we definitely don't want to relive again. But I think she come back driving so quick because she had all us telling her not to, and I think she just wanted to prove everyone wrong, to be honest.
You've set a lot of really high numbers, Narissa, as a driver. Is that still where your passion lies, freelance driving and doing the long days and most days of the week as well? Or is it something in the future that you'd like to sort of get back to maybe focusing on your own team a little more? Where does your next 5 years or so lead?
Oh, it changes every day, but I love driving, and I think, you know, if I wasn't doing it every day, I would really miss it. So I'd sort of been thinking to myself, you know, go to every meeting I can this year and drive as much as I can, and yeah, just do my best for the year. And then maybe later on, I guess the training will be more of a focus, but yeah, for now, driving's probably my passion.
What about for you, Matt? Same question, training or driving, and do you have a real goal in your head that you want to achieve in the next little while?
Not really. If you actually had asked me 2 years ago, I probably would have just said driving. Sort of wasn't really that into training. I was happy to have a couple and tick over and help Narissa a lot, but the driving was more my thing. But probably the last 18 months I've really got into the training, and I guess when you see the improvement in horses, and I put a lot down there on the track, you know, I love working them on this track and getting them tough and getting them to the races. You know, I do love driving, but sort of has turned more to training recently.
I think Matt sort of wanted to travel at some stage, which maybe we could, but hopefully we have a family before too long, and then I guess things will change as well.
What about you, Matt?
Playing golf on a nice resort somewhere? Nah, just keep going along, I guess. I think starting a family was probably in the next 10 years, and probably got to see how many horses we want then, I guess, but, you know, probably still be driving and training.
What about the travelling comment from Narissa? Is there a burning desire to go somewhere, or is it more so as a holiday?
I've never been to America yet. I would love to go over there for a holiday at some stage. Every time the horses get vetted and go to America, I say you get to go before me, mate. So I would like to get over there and sort of for a holiday and maybe check out a few barns and race meetings.
Is there a race you've always wanted to win, Narissa, whether it be locally, or is it a race on the big stage that you dream about?
I think you sort of always dream about the Miracle Mile or Inter Dominion. Maybe one day we might have a chance. We'll see how we go.